Hello and welcome everyone, this is Blackadder at Blackadder's Place for the second time today with the Nations Cup of Age of Empires 2 the Conquerors. It's the Golden League yet again, it's going to be Czech Republic yet again, as in the previous match, but this time it's going to be match against Argentina A. That is going to be very crucial for both of these teams, because it will most probably decide who is going to be advancing into the next stage from the second spot. Because the first spot, yeah, let's face it, that's pretty much clear for the Chinese side team. The match earlier today, I'm not really sure if I should be spoiling it for you, but yeah, since it's basically directly correlated with actually this match, and the result is very important for both. Let's switch into the game room. In here, I'm going to be continuing across, of course, across the game itself. Well, the first match today has been played by CZ, Czech Republic A, basically CZ clan more or less. It was against China side, and they were able to take at least one game in there, so the result was 3-1 for the Chinese team, which is exactly the same as what Argentina against China side managed as well. So yeah, China side beat both of these teams 3-1, which basically means at this stage that more or less whoever wins this match, if somebody manages to win like 3-1, is most probably going to be advancing forward. Still there is the match with Brazil B. B or C? I think C actually. Yeah, C. B is in the last group in that, so Brazil C, which is of course going to be quite difficult to begin with. But yeah, overall, it should be quite interesting match in here on our hands, and we are already looking at Error, trying to find his way into the opponent's base and potentially even find some board, because there has been some stealing in the first match between China and Czech Republic, and overall, CZs are really quite keen on stealing. Unfortunately, there is not going to... Oh! It's there. It's there actually. You should be seeing it. That should be well in his line of sight. Right now we are having a pause though, so it might mean that we might be seeing a rare, because there is a veto in the first few minutes. For some reasons, I think actually for any reason whatsoever, it's different from RTS League. But yeah, here Error is going to be stealing the board quite successfully, because still I'm fairly certain he doesn't even know about the board that it was on the left. Well, potentially he knew, but he right now knows, or should be seen, that the actual board is being stolen. He's coming with the scout in there, and of course he's going to be discovering exactly what's happening in here, and he doesn't want that to happen at all. I'm also looking at some interesting spots like green next to yellow. They're also coming after each other. I'm just going to be quickly having a look in there. And yep, there is going to be a steal as well. But this time it is monos from Skull. Okay, so that's unfortunate. That's rather for CZs, of course. I'm going to be quite favoriting CZs, but in the long run and in the bigger picture, it's not going to be any problem for either side, because obviously one board stolen on the left for Error, whereas on the right, Skull was the one who was stolen from by the opponent in there, and it was from Monos who is actually giving the board to his teammate. That's actually a nice team play in here, right there, to his teammate Mio. So how's it looking with the civilizations though? Error, who is Aztec, then Exit is Persian. There is some fighting somewhere going on. I hear it. Ah, yeah, at the top in here. Between the Scout and the Eagle Warrior from Error, so Error is probably gonna lose him, unless Yannick is going to be arriving exactly in time to help him, which seems like might be exactly the case. He's going to be leaving it up to him, not really, going to be following as well. But to continue with the civilization, Skull on the right side is going to be Han, and Spanish is Yannick, the last player. Quite interesting that we actually don't see any Mongols in here. That's usually kind of stable civilization on Arabia, especially. These opponents are going to be having basically the same. Yeah, they're very much same. Persian, Spanish, Hans and Aztec. And who is actually going to be playing as the pockets? That's usually very important. So is somebody having, for example, Hans pocket? Well, pockets are grey, Spanish, that's nice, and Persian. That's actually not that bad for CZs. Those two are usually boom civilizations, and they do like to be in the pocket position so that they can boom as much as possible and as easily as possible. And then they of course produce Spanish conquistadors, or maybe even some knights. If they don't want to go for the castle, they have basically two options as far as the gameplay goes. And well, otherwise the horses are of course going to be coming for the Persian. The knights that are usually going for the opposing pockets, and it's basically up to who is the fastest is going to be applying the pressure in there. For the opponents, for the Argentinians, we are looking at the red, who is Han. Han pocket, yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. That's pretty strong. And the next player is Aztec. Yeah, well, that's not really that great. Usually want to be having Aztecs on the flanks. They are not really that great in the pocket position. That's usually kinda sad because they don't have all that many bonuses as far as making them a great pocket civilization. But yeah, Persian from Argentinian team Mio is going to be on the right flank, and on the left flank it's going to be Sinside, who is Spanish. This is definitely unfortunate, quite highly unfortunate. And to be honest, this was quite a nice attempt by Sinside for aggressive walling. But yeah, it's not really going to be working at all, because of course his opponent was on top of that as the Aztec. And I'm fairly certain that this is going to be a bit of an issue. A bit of an issue for Sinside. So I would be expecting really quite a lot of aggression, probably even a dash from Error. And because of course Aztecs are a heavy infantry civilization. Feudal Age going for us inside though pretty soon as the Spanish. Yeah, well, you would be really expecting that he will be hurrying up into the Castle Age. But right about now it's going to be pretty difficult for him, because of the obvious reasons that he is. He has been stolen the bar, and, well, overall the game probably is not gonna go all that well for him. I'm really fairly expecting that he's going to be needing assistance pretty soon, especially considering that he's going to be facing the Spanish from the opponent, who is going to be having a whole lot easier game. He's already holding himself in quite fine, even though the front gold is kinda sucky. Still, if he goes for the standard Spanish build-up, he's just gonna drop a castle behind the gold and he's gonna be more or less fine. Second gold on the right, of course, gonna help as well. Stones decently positioned, not really bad. Another gold in here. Okay, that's not bad. 3 golds for the Spanish is, of course, gonna help. And I was looking, for example, for exit. Gold to the back, that's good. Otherwise, he's just, though, front is very open. It should basically make him open to raiding into Castle Age quite easily. Monos next Feudal Age, and then it's going to be Error and Skull. So, of course, the flanks. Interestingly, though, Mio is not advancing. But he's, of course, rushing. But it's kind of interesting because, of course, he's on the flank. You'll be expecting that he might want to be aggressive, but he's also the Persian. And as I said a bit before, Persians want to be the booming civilization, and that means faster Castle Age for the town centers and whatnot. So that's exactly what he's aiming for with the Drush. It's usually the standard combination. You go for a Drush if you want to go faster castle, but apparently there's going to be a bit of a switch in here. And Sinside is actually quite trickily going for the back. And is it going to be discovered in time to be actually stopped? You can see that he didn't even go for the second board because he didn't need it. Blue, has he seen it? Yes, right now he has noticed, but the quick calling is going to be just in time. And that's going to be denial of the stone, which is not that huge of a problem because Aztec doesn't need it all that much. Of course, for the town centers a bit later in the game. But still, it's going to be a bit of a nuisance because it will allow the teal player to be annoying as hell, and he will be continuing with the towers, possibly to the bottom, even though it's going to be way too late for that, as Error is exactly expecting that course of action and will be prepared with a tower for defense of his own. So Archer range coming up, because he will need to get rid of those two guys. And of course, of the tower potentially, as the Drush is going to be coming forward and potentially will be quite annoying to the opponent as well, because as we are looking in his base, he's having just one small gold mine, which is still kind of decently positioned for him, all things considered, but the one in the front is going to be probably under heavy pressure and not really all that easy to capture for him. Alright, going for a lot of stone for the castle, exactly as expected. As on the right, well, not really much happening, just the Drush is going to be continuing for a bit longer, and there is a bit of witty fighting against that, which is unfortunate for Skull, because of course this is exactly the purpose of Drush, to slow down the economy, but still it at least means that he's going to be able to deal with those dudes without really too many heavy losses. Feudal Age for Nikov, Mio and Exit. Otherwise, as far as somehow overall level of the game, it's very high. Very, very high indeed. Because Argentinians, they are all easily 2k plus. Whereas, for CZs, they are all pretty much 2k as well. It's not really all that much of a doubt about that. And especially as far as team games go, CZs are one of the best clans in the game. And they have plenty of experience playing with each other in similar rosters from RTS League. So they definitely do know what they're doing. Nothing could be said about Argentinians because they are quite useful, or rather used to playing with each other from the past tournaments, like the past Nations Cup, where they were actually quite successful in the past ones. They were really reaching the later stages of the games quite often. Well, so Blue Drush right now following up quite alright with the watchtower just now being built right now for teal. And how's it looking in blue's base? Second tower was finished, but of course it doesn't really matter all that much because the most important one is next one, is the one next to gold. As the villagers are apparently right now going to be moving into grey, and this right now is going to be a pretty huge problem because Yannick doesn't have any kind of defense. He's coming for the castle age as the Spanish that should be expecting. And of course, unless he gets the castle in there in time, well, there's going to be tower right on top of him. Nikov is of course telling him exactly what's gonna happen, and let's see. Because of course, if Yannick decides to go for a tower of his own as a protection, he will be finishing faster, but he's going to be wasting a lot of stone. A lot of stone for the castle, so I'm not exactly sure if he's gonna do that. He probably doesn't see it. Yes, he doesn't. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7. He should be able to shoot at least at this one. Probably even the second one. With the village right now coming somewhere to the back. And he has actually noticed somehow. He's already moving for the second goal. And yep, he definitely has noticed. There's actually some teammate told him. Not sure. But definitely could be happening in here. But yeah, the villages are already gone. And it means that he's going to be coming somewhere else, and it definitely will make things a whole lot easier as far as dropping the castle in there. In the meantime, of course, there is already a battle in Skull's base, where Monos is having a bit of fun with him, but of course Skull is having exactly the correct counter units, and these scouts are going to be getting rid of all the archers without all that much of a problem, especially with the little help of the villagers in there. So nice attempt by Monos, but mustn't be forgotten that he is basically camped between Exit and Skull, so of course, yeah, he can just basically switch onto the left side. He has already built quite nice tower in there to protect the stone that he's stealing from his opponent. And you can just basically expect that he's going to be wanting to deny the goal at the top as fast as possible to exit. And since well, I was going to say that he doesn't have, but he actually does. He does have the back gold, and right now going to be having the knights as well. I'm really thinking that even though this was a great attempt and did its damage for Monos, he is going to be forced to basically retreat, as this is not really tenable for much longer. What has to be said though, that Milo is going to be helping it pretty soon, I think. Even though probably not all that effectively, as the scout cavalry is waiting for him there. But yeah, the tower already been up, the castle is going to be protecting the gold quite alright, and this tower is going to be just a huge waste of resources at this stage. Yeah, the castle is just gonna kill it without any kind of issue. It's going to be just too easy. And even if he's going to be building the walls around it, the castle, yeah, not really sure that it's really worth it to build a stone walls around it. He should be already moving for the second goal, but I'm kind of thinking that he doesn't know about it. Yeah, he has absolutely no idea how's it looking in there. And even though Nikov probably did scout somewhere in there, yeah, he didn't scout enough. So he doesn't know about the next gold, and that means that Yannick is going to be quite fine with the game to come. Otherwise, in the front of Blue's base, he's expecting that potentially there could be some kind of problem for him, as right now apparently he is continuing with actually. Is he stealing the stone? Yeah, he's stealing the stone from his opponent. This is actually teal stone. So that's very well played. There was of course a bit of a raiding in there from Blue, but nothing really all that effective apparently. Towers are already all across the base. Another one is going to be in there for a bit more protection, as Red is already going in with the scout and potentially looking where he should be coming with all of his knights. In the meantime, right now, of course, Green is losing everything in there without all that much of a problem, so that's pretty easy defense. Tower already down, Conquistadors coming up, and we should be probably seeing a bit of a switch of momentum, unless this attack from Nikov is going to be just a bit too strong. Yeah, this tower is nicely positioned. Two guys coming up, not sure what they want to do against the tower. They need to be a whole lot more careful. He probably wanted to drop the tower yet again, but he kind of forgot that there is already one from Error, and he will have to build somewhere else. Going to be trying to steal the stone. But yeah, that's going to be just a question of time before Error is going to be getting rid of him. So this front base, interesting idea. There are still a few units in there, but it's basically just a nuisance. Nothing all that major at this stage. And it doesn't look like that it's going to be any kind of problem for CZs at all. Nobody in the castle age but just Nikov, and then from CZs actually Exiting and Yannick. Both pockets are already through, and it's actually pretty important at this stage because the other opponents are not advancing. They are still in the feudal age fighting, and they have invested maybe just a bit too much. Way too much into the trashes and whatnot. and it's not going to be paying off, especially for Sinside, because he is supposed to be the one supplying the very powerful Conquistadors. But yeah, that's not gonna happen. And Skull going to be coming into Castle Age as well, the same as Mio. But yeah, the advantages in the ages are coming for CZs. But of course they need to be careful with the defense, as Nikov is, of course, quite easily basically the second best player in the game currently after the Viper. And he's able to play even quite equal games with him. So you mustn't underestimate him at all. And his Han in the pocket is going to be quite dangerous. Quite dangerous, and exactly as he already is, just now showing to exit. Yeah, there's apparently a bit of a raiding with Conquistadors, as there was also a bit of an attempt to defend through conversion. And Yannick, well, what he's actually going to be finding? Not much. Probably he could be getting those trapped horses from exit, that's funny. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Yeah, well, that they will probably be saved by the Conquistadors, and those pesky villages are going to be punished. Well, not really all that easily, as those archers are coming in, and 3 Conquistadors, that's definitely not going to be enough. Castle Age going for error also. So actually all 4 CZs are going to be in the next ages, whereas 4 are just 2. Just 2, one just now clicking in. They are curiously far behind. It has to be said, they are really curiously far behind. And even though their early pushes were quite interesting, I'm not really sure that it's going to be really working for them in the long run. Because even though they are right now winning on the score, as there is a bit of raiding and stolen Conquistador, that's quite powerful. Of course, pretty nice defense right now by Nikov. Overall, yeah, well, not sure if they have really gotten all that strong advantage from that. Right now, this is exactly what needed to happen a whole lot earlier. But still, at least it's gonna happen. But of course, with right now the town center in there, it's just a question of time before the tower goes down, and this main goal is going to be his for the taking. So at this stage, I think this is more or less a waste. More or less a waste of good tower in there. So, yellow is going to be preparing himself for a bit of an onslaught from apparently purple, and maybe even green, but green is having just normal units, but he's advancing into Castle Age. So soon it's gonna turn into crossbowmen. But looking at the army of exit, it's really... wouldn't surprise me if you got rid of that before that happened. Knights from red just riding around, not doing really anything all that significant, as well, not much raiding going on into green. Potentially could be happening as the knights have already been slaughtered in there, but yellow, he is in the middle of purple's base, and Mio is getting raided at least a bit, and he was actually denied university. You can see the 2 dead villages in there. 3 actually, there's another skeleton at the top. And it's time to basically look at, for example, how's it gonna look at the offensive from him. So crossbowman times 2. Botkin arrow first for Munoz. But of course crossbowman and wheelbarrow are going to be just close by as well. And how's it looking, for example, at the bottom? Not really anything all that major, but blue. Oh, scratch anything, not anything major, because these villages, even though they are going to be hammered by those, oh, yeah, I was gonna say they're gonna finish, but probably not. Yeah, this is gonna be damn close. No, they're not gonna finish. This is actually pretty difficult disaster, and big disaster for error. Because not only is he not gonna finish the castle that he was attempting to basically drop on his opponent, yeah, he's gonna lose a ton of villages on top of that. This is even worse. This is even worse, and this is nicely played by Nico. He's exactly arriving at the correct space in here. And, well, unfortunately, Error losing a ton of villages, which basically means he's going to be losing a ton of units as well. You can see those 5 towers absolutely annihilated about 15-20 crossbowmen. Absolutely annihilated them. He didn't finish the castle, so this is... well, this is a fail. This is a fail if I ever saw one, and actually this could be quite significant for the game to come. He's going to be making an attempt to actually follow up. But yeah, those Conquistadors... going to be kind of tough. Going to be tough indeed. But he is going to be making a run for it. And let's have a look on the right side where there, of course, is going to be a bit of an attempt. As unfortunately, CZs are kind of underestimating the position in here. You can see the crossbowmen right now coming to the left. This is definitely nicely played against Yannick, who is having just pikemen in there. And against those guys, yeah, not a good combination. So we are just gonna waiting for the Mangonel. Yeah, what I wanted to say a bit earlier, that they kinda should have already gotten rid of this quite a lot sooner. Because this is very dangerous to basically leave alive. And even though it seemed like that it might not be all that crucial for the game, it seems that it might be just the opposite in here. And this is exactly Munoz. I was thinking for a moment that it's actually Yannick, but no, it's not. And this Munoz all green. All green, killing the economy. Right now from Orange and quite soon from Yannick as well. So what's going to be the plan actually from CZs? Because Yannick cannot help himself. He's having Conquistadors at the bottom, helping his teammate, who is going to be just now about to finish the castle. And this wasn't really going to work for him. So castle just might get finished. Otherwise, Skull is just waiting for a bit of a disaster to happen, because of course Mio is already through the wall, which I'm fairly certain that Skull is absolutely unaware of. And that will mean that once he's in there, yeah, well, good luck with that. Apparently a bit of raiding has been happening in here in Green's base, looking at the dead bodies in there. But yeah, otherwise that seems to be it. Castle finished at the top, and Conquistador is going to be trying to basically kill Inside and not allowing him to be having any kind of easy game. Already retreating from the base, of course. And Conquistador should be on top of that. He's circling exactly in there. But is he actually missing them or not? Not sure. Not sure, but he could be still catching up with them. And right now he is, because they are tearing away. So this is going to be, of course, pretty big disaster for Inside. He's going to lose a ton of villages. And yep, those towers in there that you see right in the enemy base, basically. That's funny. It's probably not going to be that important in here, as the major battle is right now happening in Exit's base, who is faced with a ton of knights. But looking like that he's going to be quite fine with, of course, the Mangonel, killing at least one of those monks. But otherwise this is going to be a conversion fiesta, and the army of crossbowmen together with pikemen are also being raided by all those knights. Yeah, he's alone against two. He will need some assistance pretty soon. And what the assistance is going to be, I'm not sure. It should be Grey, but Grey, as I said a bit before, is happy killing villagers at the bottom. Right now he's finally coming back, because he definitely needs to help. And looking at Skull, yeah, there's the way through. And Skull actually knows about it, he has just seen it. But he doesn't have strong enough army, to be honest, to do any kind of lasting damage to Mio. Because Mio does have a lot stronger army, and it's already going to be coming through the walls and trying to ravage the economy at least a bit. In here, definitely could be successful in that. In the meantime, of course, the army from Argentina is coming forward into Exit's base, and this is definitely starting to look pretty grim for CZs. Looking, for example, at the economies, Argentinian 68, 37, 109, 53, whereas CZs are 82, 88, 67, 42. And just looking at Nikov as the Hun pocket with 110 villages at this stage, 20 better than the next Czech, than the best Czech. Yeah, that can basically tell you that this game is not gonna go CZ's way all that easily, I'm afraid, for them. Yeah, right now the Persian is basically deadish. That's not going to be any kind of significant help, especially since half of the army is going to be converted by the monks that is coming in, like the Conquistadors. You can see already 3 Conquistadors converted. So yep, unfortunately Orange is more or less dead, whereas at the bottom Teal is rebuilding himself, getting a bit raided, but nothing really all that significant, as Nikov is apparently both in the attack and in the defense quite capable. Yeah, there's not going to be anything significant in Teal's base, so Teal is basically out of the game, we could be saying. Even though he does have 41 villages, so he's not dead altogether. But for the next about 10-15 minutes, maybe even more, he's not going to be anything important in the game. Patsin could be at this point sad, basically, about Exit, because even though he was nicely started up, he is just now down to 17 villagers. Just a moment ago, I remember I was saying about 60, I think so, but he has basically lost absolutely everything. He's out of the game basically completely. So not really sure what's going to be the game plan in here, because of course Skull is under pressure from Mio as well, and it doesn't look all that great for CZs, even though they are continuing fighting, and definitely hoping that Yannick somehow with his Imperial Age is going to be able to win. But Imperial Age is coming for Error and Skull, and much more importantly for Nikov. And since Nikov is really the beast in here, yeah, well, tough luck. He definitely needs to somehow get rid of those pesky monks. And this is just exacerbating and underlining the fact that you mustn't ever underestimate such back builds, or rather such... This is not really back build, this is a front build right off the bat. Because they are going to be biting you in the long run. And this is exactly what happened to Exit. And well, he's paying for it quite a lot. Quite a lot. They build it down center on the corner in there, and also in Gray's base a bit, because of course he needs a bit of protection in there. And Nikov already going to be helping on the left side, trying to put some pressure on Error as well, to make sure that he's not having any kind of easy game himself. In the meantime, of course, there's going to be a bit of attack apparently by Mio, but so far it's been repelled. It's been repelled successfully by Skull, and Skull, right now coming to Imperial Age, is going to be helping his teammate somewhere, or is he actually going to be trying to raid the green? Green is wide open. He's basically up for the taking very easily, and it seems like that it's going to be happening in here. Yeah, this TC is not gonna finish at all. He's just going to be right now raiding from Skull. It's actually going to be quite important if he gets significant amount of villages in there, which he seems to be exactly aiming for. And well, yep, he is in the sweet spot in there, in the wood line, going to be killing a few vills. Areas on the left. Nikov is just absolutely everywhere. Absolutely everywhere all across the map. Going to be denying Error economy in here. A lot of gold mines that is not going to be right now. They are not going to be available just now. And still even more mines coming all the way to the back to yet another gold mine in there. Okay, so what's gonna follow right now? I'm not exactly sure. I'm gonna frontier coming forward. Probably not going to be anything all that significant, as we are looking at Skull having Cavaliers with Nikov as well, and well, Mio apparently going to be helping, because he's not really in that much of a pressure in the opponent's base, but Nikov is absolutely everywhere. He's all across the map. He's killing Orange. He's right now helping strangle Error on the left. He's in Skull's base. He's really all across the map in here. Absolutely everywhere. Yeah, even having some idols in there. That's all that he can actually afford. Skull being kept at 79 villages through this very nice raiding. And of course Mio is going to be making use of that. He's just going to be mounting pressure on his opponent. And since the Camels are quite a good unit against horses, and Paladins are coming only from Nikov, you could probably expect that CZs are going to be having a very hard time somehow coming back out of this. So far, of course, pretty decent raiding on Error, who is going to be dropped to some significantly lower amount of villages as well, just now at 71. So the economies are just going through the roof for the Argentinians. 134 for Mio, Nikov 130, the rest 71 and 80. Whereas for CZs, the best is Yannick at 116, and the rest 84, 72, and yeah, well, the 17 there for Exit, who got basically eliminated in there through the pretty brutal double. Pretty brutal double in there. So Blue was attempting to push forward, but apparently not really all that successfully. He's probably going to be forced to fully defensive in here. And since inside is putting up stables, he's actually preparing for apparently advance into Imperial Age, I will be thinking. And dropping the Cavaliers number 2 for his team, it seems like. Yeah, well, already Paladins in. Squires for Skull, but no Paladins for him. Nickel Blast Furnace for the last upgrade, Mio for Cavaliers. So at least Cavaliers right now going to be coming for Mio so far, but Paladins probably going to be following close behind. So is it like going to be triple Paladins from actually them? Really could be, but this is yet again basically the same situation as with Green in here. Yet another, this is proper back build, surprise build behind the opponent base. And this is going to be absolutely huge surprise for CZs, because they were... Oh, well, this is actually whom? This is Yannick. Yeah, Yannick was attempting to drop a castle in here, but right now he's seeing that this is not going to be that easy, and all this is going to be stopping him. He's gonna lose the villages, he's gonna lose those villages as well, his teammate Exit, and that will mean not great minutes to come for them. Okay, on the right side, for example, we are looking though at Skull, somehow able to defend himself against raiding from Nikov and Mio, and seems to be attempting to somehow push himself forward. Going for the very crucial gold for him, getting ready as the Han for infantry. That's very interesting. He's actually not getting ready for more horses, even though he does have Paladins, huh? He got that. Or does he? No, he doesn't. No, this is just a red herring. This is literally a red Paladin converted. He's not having Paladins yet. And in the middle, there's a very big battle happening, because Nikov has been encountered by Yannick, who is a member of fun, with Conquistadors and Halberdiers, and apparently, yeah, well, the Paladins are going to be winning. It really seems like they will, because they are just having the numbers in there. And Nikov, yet again, I have to say it, he's all across the map. He's helping absolutely everywhere. And he is the most deciding factor in this game so far, I have to say. Quite single-handedly, he is applying pressure on Blue, and of course, in the middle, also on Grey. and by proxy also by non-exit. But exit is kinda not in the game all that much, because he's just right now trying to rebuild himself somehow. But CZs are not giving up, they are still continuing with the game. It's a bit of gold gathering, some heavy camos already being ready, and will be attempting to be helped by Munoz. And of course the combination of halberdiers with paladins, still cavaliers, this is just still the one converted for him. That's going to be pretty tough because he's going to be facing a lot stronger army with 2 men, so chemistry crop rotation, so better economy for meal than he already has. Error right now at 90 villages, actually not that bad, even through the losses that he was suffering just a moment ago. It seems that Yannick will be able to somehow secure the situation in there, but not really all that fast enough, because this battle is going just a bit too slowly. Just a bit too slowly, and he needs the castle at all costs. But with those 2 towers in there, it's going to be kinda impossible. He needs to get rid of those first, most definitely. Otherwise, he's just gonna lose all the units, and he's going to be sending them to their deaths. It seems to be exactly right now what he is doing. Well, there's not really any kind of continuation in here, apparently. As Nikov is paying tribute to Inside to basically get him started with the Paladins and Imperial Age and whatnot, with Mio coming into Paladins himself. And of course there's going to be a bit of switch from Error's army, as the Eagle Warriors are not really useful anymore. There are not really any Conquistadors or any archers whatsoever. It's going to be a lot of horses in here, but not really going to be coming to that in the long run, because Skull is just now being ravaged here again by Nikov, and that's it. That's going to be GG from CZs, and has to be said, pretty commanding performance by Argentina, and especially Nikov. He absolutely deserves the 15,000 score in there. He absolutely owned this game. He first helped delete exit with Munoz. Then he basically slowed down Skull significantly. He also slowed down Errors significantly. And then, yeah, he just finished with the opponents that he needed to finish. This was well played. Damn well played by Argentina. Okay, well, let's check the achievements then. Nikov, yep. As I said, definitely deserves all those points. And being called the MVP of this game. You can see unit skill 341. He was just absolutely dominant in this game. Absolutely, totally dominant. Highest army, 83 by a lot. A lot. Not really any kind of slinging, just, especially from Nikov, to somebody else. He wasn't the one who would be slung. If you maybe could have thought that he was so strong because somebody slung him, no. He was so strong because he was a hand pocket and he definitely knew what he was doing. Okay then, GG.